Terrell's assistant head coach is quarterbacks coach Mike Reed. Coach, do you have any opening comments, or would you like to go straight to questions?
We can go straight to questions. I mean, I'm just blessed to be here today. Like I said, to have the opportunity to speak to you guys, and I respect what you guys do, not only for our program, but for the world of sports, you know. Thank you.
Y'all take it away.
What's it like for you to go back to D.C., a place that, you know, obviously means a lot to you?
To tell you the truth, it's, you know, have some fond memories, you know, like anything in life. You know, it was an opportunity for me to become a man, to be on my own, and then to get an education, you know, see the world. You know, like I said, that's one of those things I tell people, the game of football is so important to me in my life, because it's allowed me to do things that I probably would have never been able to do, you know. So it makes me appreciative of my opportunities in life.
How did your recruitment go to go there? And then maybe do you have a memory or two that you could share?
Memory was I thought I was a basketball player, but, you know, being 5'9", not too many people were going to recruit you. And so I started playing football my senior year in high school, and luckily somebody knew somebody that was Dick Curl, who was coaching at Boston College, who was actually at Rutgers at one point, and he was recruiting me at Rutgers. Rutgers staff got let go, and he went to Boston College and told him about me, and lo and behold, that was my opportunity. And I had to wait, but like I said, the good Lord had a plan for me, so I was able to get a scholarship, and all said and done then.
I guess as a defense, when you guys look back after the Syracuse game, what was lacking in that game as a defense, and what changed, do you think, against North Carolina?
Well, I'll say this. The one thing about football, you know, one, it's a great team sport. And when everyone is not on the same accord, you know, you get exposed. You know, you could have 10 guys doing everything just right, and that one guy not doing what he's supposed to be doing, and it's one of those whole car facts that they're going to find that one mistake and they're going to exploit it. And you know, it's one of those things where we just couldn't put it all 11 couldn't do it all together at one time. You know, so guys played hard. You know, that's one thing I will say, they played hard. You know, playing with great effort, and just have to put it together.
How much just felt like it was a cleaner execution game against North Carolina?
Yeah, yes, very cleaner. You know, things that we've been coaching and and doing in repetition, it finally started paying dividends. You know, guys start seeing it, start believing in it, and enthusiasm is very infectious and can make things a lot better.
I think Coach Swinney mentioned, I guess in the secondary they were playing soft on the perimeter. I guess as a coach, how did you guys correct those issues after?
I mean, you just gotta keep going and going and going. You know, you gotta put your head down and you gotta work. You know, you gotta strain. You gotta be desperate. You know, it's like, that one time, you throw a baby in a bathtub or in some water. What does that baby do? It means fighting, screaming, and kicking to get on its back to float. You know, so it's almost that type of pressure. You know, those guys, they've got to feel the pressure of trying to get there and doing their best not to let anyone stop them from getting there.
Tom Allen being on the sideline, how did that change things for you guys as staff?
Great. I mean, if you know anything about Coach Allen, I mean, he plays, he coaches with a lot of tenacity, and I like it. It's infectious. You see your top leader, jumping up and down, leading the charge. Hey man, you want to get a part of that too. You don't want him to just have a piece of pie. It's a team effort, and I love it. I love playing for him. He brings some things to our defensive staff that, like I said, I love it. I'm glad he's here.
I noticed Saturday there was a lot of energy on the sideline. Was that because of Tom Allen?
Part of it, yes. But I mean, if you come to practice, we bring the juice every day. And like I said, our players are a reflection of the coach sometimes, and sometimes, hey, the coach has got to get fired up. Players see the coach fired up, then they want to get fired up, and then everybody wants to get fired up. That's just the way it is sometimes in life. Sometimes in life, one person has to be that spark plug. You know, when you have a bunch of spark plugs, then heck, that engine's going. That rock is moving.
How would you assess Ashton and Jeadyn since we won?
Just, you know, guys are playing hard, you know, just wanting to be more detailed, more consistent, you know. Like anything, the one thing about, you know, playing for, I don't know, I guess for me, is I'm very hard on my guys as far as grading, you know. And so they know in order for them to get a plus on a play, it's got to be darn near, it's got to be perfect, you know, because I'm not going to accept anything less. You know, and so they're working. I love the work that they're putting in. They're putting in extra. You know, they want it too. You know, and then the good thing about last weekend is it makes you appreciate winning. You know, it really does. That you got to go out every day and you got to earn the right to win. You know, and so some people they miss is, like I said, football is a great teacher of life. You know, and so this is not just helping them for the now moment. It's helping them for when they're graduated, when they're fathers, you know, when they're husbands. So it's a great teaching moment, and that's what I love about it, because we're going to affect these kids longer in their life than this moment. And I love what our kids are doing. You know, our kids are coming together. You know, they're fighting for one another. They're becoming a true team.
Coach Swinney also mentioned how the product growth of Branden Strozier this season. How have you kind of seen him grow this year?
I mean, he's coming out of the shell. You know, you have a kid that comes from a small private school in Georgia, and you know he's coming here, and it's a lot more people here, and he was a little timid. You know, got a little injured. You know, and so coming back and seeing his work ethic and you know the time that he's put in the classroom come to fruition is great for him. You know, he got a penalty this weekend, and you know you see him, and you see him just the excitement and the tenacity in him, and it's like, oh, now you got to channel that a little bit, you know. But it's great to see it. You know, our kids, like I said, our kids are growing, and that's what you want to see.
Coach, when you was talking about Corian Gipson playing more nickel and kind of really having to push him along faster, I mean, how have you seen him respond to kind of having to?
Great. I mean, the kid, you know, he's accepted the challenge. That's one thing about Corian is, you know, he's a fighter, and he's going to give you everything he's got, and you know, because he wants to compete. He wants to be out there, and it's good. I like it, you know, because now the kids, you know, learn even more ball from a different perspective by being the nickel. It's good, you know, and he's going to have to help us. So it's great for me.
Saying it's that much harder to play nickel because obviously a corner you have the sideline is kind of a buddy. Like how hard is that to kind of pick up?
Well, when you're playing nickel is almost like a hybrid linebacker / defensive back / corner. It's all those three positions wrapped up in one. You got to be a great blitzer. You got to be able to run, fill in the run gaps, and then you got to be able to cover. And then, like I said, most offense's best receiver is their inside slot receiver. You know, he's quick and fast. So now you've got that to match up, and you're usually not playing far off the guys. So you've got to be able to react at the quick of a dime.
I guess what about Corian makes you guys confident he has that skill set, I guess?
He's physical. You know, he's strong. He's got, you know, if this kid put his hands on you, it's going to hurt. Okay, we don't do drills with him. I mean, DeAndre McDaniel and Zach Terrell did drills with him last week, and he hit them, and they felt it. The kid can tackle. He's fast. You know, he's smart. You know, so he's got it all. You know, he's going to be a very good one.
Coach, you've been around here a long time. You've been part of the undefeated national championship winning team. I'm just curious, when September is happening for you guys and it's not going the way you anticipated it going, how do you handle that as a coach?
Well, I always say this, man. You're either getting ready to go in a storm, you're in a storm, or you just got out of a storm. Either way, you're going to go through something in life, all right? And so what I tell myself and my players, hey, man, lace up your boots, put your hard hat on, and keep working. Keep working. That's all you can do. You can't control those other things. The only thing you can do is control yourself and how you respond to them. And you got to let this opportunity right here, you've got to grow from it. So now when you go through another storm, all right, you're not shell-shocked or you're not taken by surprise what's been happening, all right? And that's one thing I could actually say about these young men, all right? They banded together, you know, and stuck to it.
I think one of the messages Coach Swinney said he gave was, like, you guys, you're a bad man. Like, you said to remember, like how much did they just kind of have to remember? How much had they lost their confidence in him?
Well, you know, society has a way of piling the dirt on you when things are going bad, you know. And sometimes in that process, some guys lose themselves, you know. And it's great to have a coach like Coach Swinney who preaches, hey, dust it off, step up. Dust it off, step up, you know. And like I said, this right here that these kids are going through is nothing what they're going to go through in life. So why not learn from it right now so when the challenges come later on in life, you can say, you know what? What did my old coach say? Shake it off, step up. Shake it off, step up. You know, so.
I think Avieon, you mentioned how he mentioned talking to the corners in the room about the team struggles. I guess how you kind of see him grow as a leader during a tough time last month.
He's a kid that's going to work. I mean, he may not always be very vocal, but when you turn on a tape and you see this young man play with the heart that he plays with, you know, people will take notice of that. I mean, the kid this weekend hit an offensive lineman and buckled him, all right? And Avieon is about 183 pounds, and that kid was about 330. And to see that young man run, actually, I say run through a wall, what else can you say? You don't have no excuses, because here goes one of your best players putting his body on the line for his teammates. That's the ultimate sacrifice. That's love.
Any additional questions for Coach?
You talked about the players hearing about being Batman. Did Coach Swinney have that same message to you coaches before he went to the players so you could tell the players that also? I mean,
well, we sit in team meetings together. And so, you know, what's expressed in the team meetings, we all hear. So it's like with any leader, and you have your troops. All right, they're going to take the direction of the leader, and they're going to run with it. As coaches, that's what we do. You know, we take the direction from our head guy, and then we run with it. And that's how you build culture. You know, and that's why what we have here is special. And that's why we try to protect it as much as possible.
Anyone else? All right, Coach. Really appreciate your time. Thank you.
Appreciate it.